Hey, everybody. Welcome to So Many Sequels, your book club for movies. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm David.
And it is a brand new year. 2026 is here. Super.
Thank God. Just say
Yeah,
it.
let's just say
whatever,
it. Thank
whatever
God.
you choose your God to be, thank it for the new year. We started off with a seizure of a country. That's exciting. So we'll see what's in store.
If I told you what I thought about last year, I think I would have to put in at least 30 seconds of a solid bleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're looking ahead to 2026, except not this episode. We're actually looking
Nope.
back, which is ironic.
Doing the way back flashback, y'all.
We'll look forward at the end.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite movies of the year. 2025, our favorite movies, our top fives. We're going to each list our top five, and then we're going to talk about some of our crossover favorites, the ones that really stuck out to us. Talk about a little bit about what has happened this year on the show. We've got some stats to talk about, some fun stuff that David has pulled together. Talk about some 2026 resolutions for movies and ourselves. Maybe a prediction or two if we're feeling crazy. I don't know. We'll see.
Anything can happen. It's New Year's Eve, y'all. It's wild. It's not really New Year's Eve.
No, it's not. But you guys should go to SoManySequels.com, subscribe to the show on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts so that you are with us all year long. This is our last episode for a few weeks. I say that like it's forever. It's literally just going to be a few weeks in between seasons here. So this is going to be our last episode of season 8. Then we're going to kick off season 9 with a month dedicated to some of our favorite Rob Reiner films. So I know we're looking forward to that. You guys should look forward to that as well. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, we're going to do, because you should watch them ahead of time. We're going to talk about The Princess Bride. We're going to talk about Stand By Me. We're going to talk about what's that? Oh, A Few Good Men. I kept wanting to say American President, but we've already done that one. And we're going to talk about This is Spinal Tap, I believe. So exciting month to look forward to in February. Again, TommySequels.com. Go subscribe. Lots of movies and fun stuff to look forward to. We don't always talk about new stuff. We talk about old stuff too. That's actually how we started.
Heck yeah. We got a whole backlog of stuff that you should go listen to. And you know what? Again, we've got stuff that isn't fully recorded. We can redo those at any point in time. I recently saw that one of our longtime followers, Mike Brower, watched Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. And let me tell you what, that was one of our first episodes that we could revisit because, man, wouldn't that be fun again, Josh?
I actually think that's a super good idea to revisit some of those very early because, it's been even long.
8-ish plus years.
Exactly. It's been, and that's the last time I watched those movies.
Yeah, so we didn't even go into video.
Since then. We've been through some ish since then. We might have a totally different outlook. I don't know.
We might. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah,
I think we started the video version of the podcast
in the pandemic.
in season 4, I believe. Middle of the pandemic. We've now, this will start, season 9 of the show will officially been in video longer than we were on just audio.
Yeah.
Dang,
very cool.
Son, we've been doing this a long time.
Even better reason to subscribe on YouTube. Or Spotify. There's video there.
Yeah.
I don't really know why.
Is there video on Apple yet?
No.
Did the Apple Podcast do video? Okay.
Our Wrapped put us in the top 20% of Spotify video podcasts, and you should just take the win.
Yes.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah. How about that? But let's jump into things. Let's go ahead and kick started with our top favorites of the year. Let's I don't know why I'm overthinking who should start first. Garrett, you start.
Ooh, going with me. Okay.
I just picked randomly.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so mine was a little my 5 is odd, y'all. There's no real big movies outside of one massive.
We love an eclectic selection.
Yeah, it was really kind of all over the place. So we'll talk in depth about any of them, but just top 5 for me. Number 5, The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. Right? Liam Neeson. No,
Liam Neeson. Leslie is the original.
Leslie did such a good job, I can't remember anybody's name.
I mean, Leslie Nielsen and Liam Neeson is extremely similar.
It is. It's not fair. And Pamela Anderson, obviously.
Right. Yes.
Number 4, documentary Ocean with David Attenborough.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Number 3 is The Ballad of Wallace Island.
I don't even know that one.
It's
Oh,
an Amazon movie. It's
Yeah.
quite good. We can talk about that later.
I know one of the guys
Number
from it at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward
Number
to that.
2 is Sinners, and let me be real. Sinners is
You can
like
be
the
Garrett.
best movie of the year. I'm not for me of the ones that I have seen, Sinners is the best movie of the year. But the best experience and the best time I had the whole time, number one of them days with Keke Palmer and SZA, it was great. It was
It's
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was excellent. So that's my top 5.
Yeah. All right. That's a crazy top 5. I gotta
Very
say,
fun.
it's
It's
eh,
crazy.
it's a situation like none of those are bad movies. And so I think that's great. I think it's gonna make our when I try to make like a top 5 for the three of us, it's gonna make things really easy. But yeah, I mean, I always think it's because I think this is not the first time, Garrett. I'd have to look back at older end of year reviews, but it's not the first time you've put a documentary in the top 5, which I always really respect when you do that.
I think that's right. I don't remember what the other one was, but yeah.
The other one, for sure, it was my favorite movie of the year was the Michael J. Fox
Right. I think
Oh,
documentary.
that's
still,
right. That's
wasn't it?
right. Yes,
Yeah.
that was a really good movie.
It was done such an incredible and a wonderful way, and a lot of times it's really documentaries are so what you are interested in. I don't take away that is maybe the situation with David Attenborough, but it also again it gave me a lot of ups and downs and waves and really went through a lot of
Literal
emotion,
waves.
and so. And so it genuinely stuck with me and it made me think about how we need to stop, again, just destroy. We're literally, again, I go back and listen to, there's an episode where I talk about, we're literally scraping the bottom of the ocean to find scallops, y'all, because we can't find them nowhere else. We are bottom feeders at this point in
They
time.
can't find him at the store.
That's how, no, because they can't get them out there. It's crazy.
The environment's dying.
Yes. So that's again, I think
aren't
it's an
that good.
important one. So I think it's worthy of being up there. Sorry, that was a tangent.
No, the tangent is fine. I mean, especially since you have the most eclectic list, so we need to hear about this. I feel like you should just go ahead and tell us about the Wallace Island one too, since
Yeah, is that like a
that's unique to
comedy?
your list. What is this?
So the Ballad of Wallace Island is it feels like a little bit of an indie movie. It has got, have you, Josh, you started watching The Paper, correct?
Mm-hmm. I watched
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So it's got Tim Key, the
Mm.
British guy who's
The
basically
boss?
like as close as you can get to a Michael Scott character. He is a Paul Walter Hauser type actor who
Love that.
he is able to be this eclectic, weird guy, but also deliver this really sentimental, beautiful, caring performance. And so this movie has got him, Carey Mulligan, and Tom
Love Carey
Basden.
Mulligan.
Yes. And he is an eccentric man who lives on an island kind of by himself. He's won the lottery twice. And he is using some of his money to bring his favorite band to this island where he lives to do a private concert. The band has broken up for many a years, and it's Carey Mulligan and Tom Basden, and they used to be an item, and all of their music was written when they were together. And so for them, and you go through their different kind of individual struggles of this music and what it has meant to them, but you also learn about Tim Key and what their music has meant to him. And so it unravels all of these different kinds of relationships about how this music impacts you. It was just really beautifully done. And the music was also really good. I have no idea whether or not he was involved, but I do know that Carey Mulligan is married to the lead singer of Mumford and Sons.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I have no idea if he was involved in the writing, but I wouldn't be surprised because the songs were beautiful and the performances were really, really beautiful. And Tim Key, if you are only familiar with him from The Paper or some of the other things that he's done as a comedic actor, he is just so tender, and he can be annoying, but like in such a beautiful way, and it just really worked. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
I give a high recommendation.
I haven't seen it, but Tim Key, I also saw him earlier this year. You mentioned The Paper. He plays a smaller supporting role in Mickey 17, but he was really good in that as well. He plays this guy. He plays like the I guess host voiceover. He's always like hyping things up. He dresses as the
Okay.
pigeon. If you saw that movie,
Yeah, I did. I
anyway,
just can't place him, but I'm gonna have to check it back out
he's
because
really
yeah,
popping up in a lot of places over the last few years.
he's very good. He seems to have a wide range. That's why I mentioned Paul Walter Hauser. Is he can make you laugh, he can make you
Mm.
cry, he can make you be scared. He's got a whole different range. So I think he can do a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna
For
have
sure,
to.
that's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
gonna add that to my list.
And then I love you've got your top 5 here, sort of bookended with comedies. You got The Naked Gun in one of them days, so you really
Comedies
repping
had a,
comedy
comedies
flicks.
had a good year. Everybody gives credit to The Naked Gun for really getting comedies a shot in the arm, and they're right. I mean, it reached so many people. It took something that was like, man, this is either gonna really suck, and they're gonna have swung and missed, or they're gonna knock it out of the park. And they did
Mhm.
such a fantastic job
They did
of making you feel like it's okay to laugh. Um,
at
that
stupid stuff.
Yes, and I think that was, but it was also done in a smart parody way. And so
Yeah,
for so long, parodies they'd become so stupid. They've
and
really just gotten so dumb.
yeah, and I mean, this didn't feel like it was this exact same jokes as as like the other Naked Gun movies or the Police Squad movies. Like um, it felt like it worked with those, but it didn't just copy the same thing.
Yes, and it adapted with the times, and that's what a parody has to do. It has to move forward and see what is happening. It can't just rely on the same shticks, for 6, 7, 8 movies.
Right.
That's a bad thing. But one of them days,
Hmm.
man, I remember at the beginning. This was a movie that came out, I think, at like January,
Hmm.
and was so talked about as a comedy that was like it had the same kind of hype as The Naked Gun, but it was back January. And listen, I gotta say, this movie is just perfectly executed, which is why for me, it's the number one movie. It may not be like, artistic and perfect, but everything that they wanted to do with this, they did it, damn it. Without flaw. They are so wonderfully funny together, Keke Palmer and SZA. Again, it's been so long since I've seen it that I can't recall some of the moments, but I was on the floor rolling. I had to pause it, back it up several times just because Keke Palmer is a star and
Yeah,
she's so funny. And so even though I can't remember the moment or the thing that made me happen, I remember just barrel laughing. And that is why it's number one.
Yeah, I really want Keke Palmer. She's done a lot of great movies so far, but I really want her to get on like the train of being like heavily used. Like there's some actors that are just like appear in everything.
Hmm.
Give Keke Palmer the Zendaya treatment. I want her in everything.
Yes.
yeah, I agree. She's great. I'm gonna have to watch that movie again. Put it in the Criterion collection.
Yes.
Yes.
It's magical. Okay, awesome. That is a great year-end list. I will read mine next. Mine feels mostly just predictable to me. I'm not, and I don't say that. I guess I'm not ashamed of it, but it does
No.
feel a little bit predictable. Anyway,
Predictable for you or just
in general, because it's like, oh, most of the movies that are on most people's top list. Okay, just in
Mhm.
various orders. But I think my number 5 may is at least unique to us, which is the movie Friendship that came out earlier in the year with
Mhm.
Tim Robinson and Paul. Was it Paul Rudd?
Paul
Am I
Rudd,
thinking
yeah.
that right? Yeah. Now I think this mainly hit my top 5 because of how much it just like sat with me because Tim Robinson's stuff tends to like invade my brain like a brainworm,
Yeah.
like an invasive species, and I'm
He's
like,
good at that.
what are you doing in my head? And I chose it because it is funny, but it's also just like, look, you guys get it. You're dudes like me. Dudes are weird at being friends.
Yes, they
And this
are.
movie like makes it almost a horror movie, male friendships. They're so
Yes.
like thankfully, I don't think I certainly don't. I don't think most people have friendships that are like what we see in the movie. It's a very extreme example of some very weird behavior, but I really enjoyed it. It made me cringe in ways that, you know, can feel relatable even though it's not 100%, you know,
Mhm.
1-to-1. But it's like, "Oh, yeah, that feels like an extreme version of something I've felt." So I enjoyed Friendship quite a bit. And then I've got, Wicked for Good. Really just thought it finished the story as well as it could have. The worst kept secret about Wicked is that Act 2 is not as good as Act 1.
Sure.
Literally no one is surprised by that.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that For Good would not be as good as Part 1. And I don't think it is, but I personally think it's probably better than it could have been.
It
I think they made it a lot more interesting
Yeah. Would you
than
say it's
they could
better
have.
than the second act, like watching the second act on stage?
I actually kind of do.
Mm.
Now, I don't know. It's easy to say because I've seen the stage version once and I
Mhm.
can watch Wicked for Good basically whenever I want, but it's a lot more of a contained story. You know, in Act 2 of Wicked, it's continuing a story, and this has to be its own movie, and it can do that to some degree. But
Mhm.
and also, it doesn't have as strong of music. The best songs are in Part 1 or in Act 1.
Mhm.
So it is what it is. But all things considered, it still made my top list of the year. And then my top three is where we really get into the predictability and where David and I share a lot. So we'll be talking about these all together after he tells us his list. But my number 3 movie is Wake Up Dead Man. And let me also say that my top 3 is basically separated by a sliver.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
It's
could
really
Mhm.
narrow at this point.
I could put Wake Up Dead Man as number 1. You
Mhm.
could talk me into it. Loved it. Kind of still thinking it might be my favorite Knives Out movie,
Mhm.
just because it's different enough that it felt fresh again, and it just tells a really cool story. It has great performances, really good cast. Ryan Johnson, the dude's got it. He's still got it.
Mhm.
I hope they continue to do more of these movies until either Ryan Johnson or
Until
or Daniel Craig drops dead. I don't know.
until you're
May
90.
that be in 50 billion years.
Just get out of the Netflix deal, please, for the
I
love of
know. Save
yeah.
yourselves from
It'd be
that,
great if they could come back to theaters. Wouldn't that be great?
wouldn't it?
Yes. Get out.
Number
And D and
2
Blu-ray.
is One Battle After Another, the Paul
Mhm.
Thomas Anderson movie with Leo DiCaprio. Really enjoyed this from a lot of angles. I enjoyed the performances. I thought the story was really relevant. It sat with me. I thought the action sequences were fun. Just overall, enjoyed the film. Thought it was very. I just thought it really resonated with the state of the world today. And then number 1, Sinners.
Yeah.
It's been at the top since it came out. Like I said earlier, I could easily put it in 2 or 3 with the others, but it's pretty damn good. It's Sinners, man.
It's stuck with you, and
We've talked about Sinners a bunch on this show, I feel like,
Mhm.
and I don't even think we ever did an episode dedicated to it, but we've still talked about it enough.
Well, we might, maybe one day we will.
Yeah,
Maybe if it wins, I don't know if it wins any big awards, maybe we can look into it. But yeah,
right.
we can dive into it more here in a minute if we want, because I think it is the only movie that's on all three of our lists. So
Mhm.
we can give it some more time here in a minute. But I like your list a lot. I mean, I do think, yeah, you've got some that a lot of people put up highly, but I mean that's because there's just kind of
Mhm.
there's a lot of consensus that these were great movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like Friendship. I like that you guys also like it's kind of a weird comedy. Tim, what's his last name? His name Robbins or
Robinson,
Robinson?
yeah.
Robinson. He's kind of like he's a unique voice right now
Mhm.
in comedy because he has like a style that's hard to define, but is pretty recognizable. He
Yeah.
has this like weird cringe, almost horror. Um, Reminds me a lot of like Stephen Merchant stuff with like Hello
Mhm.
Ladies or
Mm.
Hello, ladies.
where it's like it's
Yeah.
cringy and you're like, oh, I almost don't even want to be watching this. I would hate to be in this room or situation right now.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting inclusion. I know that one's a little bit divisive too, because if you're not in line with Tim with his style, it can be like, oh, this is just too off-putting. I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Um, and then Wicked for Good. I mean, also just I think, like you said, brought the second act and filled it out as well as it could.
You know what? Listen, I haven't seen any of the top three. Well, except for Sinners. I haven't seen Wicked for Good, Wake Up Dead Man, or One Battle After Another. But Josh, I have started One Battle After Another, and let me tell you what, it is certainly right out of the gate. Absolutely not what I guessed in
Oh.
any way, shape, or form. The opening, I've been in. It's like maybe the first 20 minutes that I have been able to actually watch. So like nothing. But whoa.
Nothing but whoa. I would agree
Yeah,
with
You
the
that.
know what
first
I'm
20 are
talking
like
about.
definitely a whoa.
You all know what I'm talking about. So I'm actually very excited to go back to it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
If you want more weird Sean Penn, then you should keep watching after 20 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll get plenty of that.
You'll get
Yeah.
plenty of weird Sean Penn in that movie.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Also, a great if you're an SNL fan or in general, like Jim Downey will make an appearance later.
Yes, Jim Downey. Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
big part, but it's a fun part.
Yeah.
All right, Garrett. No, David, your list.
All right. Well, outside of what happened in 2025, for me, film in 2025, I really enjoyed. I got to see 43 movies, which is better than I feel like I do most years.
Good for you.
Next year, I'd really love it if I could hit 50. If I could see 50 new movies in 2026, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But 43, so I'm feeling pretty good. And then my top 5, I kind of feel like have a common theme. For a long time, I felt like my top 5 or my top like 3 at least really shared a common energy, and that only got better after I saw my number 4. So my number 5 movie is K-pop Demon Hunters. I was a little late to seeing this, and then I watched it, and I immediately. The one thing I could say about all 5 of these movies is the second they were over, I wanted to watch them again. It was true with each one of these. K-pop
Yeah.
Demon Hunters was fun, energetic, a fun style of animation that just like captures your eye, captures your energy. The music is just banger after banger. It's obviously more of like a pop sound than like a traditional musical, but like I was singing a lot of these songs and playing them on the Spotify or whatever for
My little soda
weeks
pop.
after. Soda Pop. I like Free a lot. The
The
little duet
demographic
between
on this
him.
is off the charts. It makes me think of like when family movies were family movies.
Mhm.
We've liked it. We're 3 men in our 30s. The children have liked it. Every single child of various demographics and genders and ages and all of that have liked it.
Mhm.
I haven't met a single person who has been like, nah, that movie sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them out there, but they are
Mm.
they're the type you would expect. They're kind of like party poopers in general.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, and so that was a top 5 movie almost immediately. Then at number 4, just saw this is the last movie I saw last year, and it immediately jumped into top 5, and that's Life of Chuck, which is a Mike Flanagan film adapted from Stephen King. So you're thinking to yourself, this has got to be super scary, and it's not at all. It's actually a really wonderful movie, and just a really interesting. Like it's interestingly structured. It goes from like the end of the story to the beginning of the story, more or less. You got Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill, uh, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan. It's a really interesting and fantastic movie that by the end, I just kind of sat and like sometimes, the credits start and you kind of move on. I just sat and just let myself sit through the credits because I was just trying to soak in the final moments of it. So fantastic movie. And it dovetails into my third, which is Superman. I think I'm definitely the only one who has it in the top 3 here, but it is everything pretty much I've wanted from a Superman movie. It's fun. It it makes the character feel relatable. It has a comic book feel. It's like when it gets into like a super high concept situation that, feels very, we've been dealing with a decade and a half of trying to make superheroes more grounded. And this one took it to a fantastic level. And nobody was, at least when I saw it, nobody in my theater seemed like they were bored. So really good. Sinners, I have at number 2. Sinners, and also a movie that deals a lot with a lot of topics, but deals with faith and deals with uh, the pull and the temptation, being your own person, things like that. And the music of that movie really elevated it. I didn't say this at the time, but Sinners is one of the few times I've ever watched a movie where I had a complaint, and with one line at the very end of the movie, it negated my whole complaint, which was the first hour or so. There's no vampires. The first hour or so, there's no scares, there's no horror. And I felt like, I remember before it really kicked off, I was like, man, I feel like they took a little too much time at the beginning of this movie before they got to the action and stuff. And this is a slight spoiler warning if you haven't seen Sinners yet. But during the post-credits scene, he says, before the sun went down, I think that was the best day of my life.
Mhm.
And to me, it was like everything. I went, oh, that's why they took so long. They needed to show me that this was the best day of their lives. For the few hours of that day, they felt free. And and I was like, well, there goes that 5 stars. Thank you. And also just fantastic performances. Finally, and this one just edged out Sinners towards the end of the year here. Another movie that dealt a lot with faith and kindness, and that's Wake Up Dead Man. And I think it took my number 1 spot because at the end I left with a little bit more sense of hope than I did with Sinners. But but again, this is one where I could swap these two easily as well. For great performances, great story, made me made me feel like made me want to be better. That's always a good movie. So that's my top 5.
Dang, that movie literally and figuratively took David to church.
It did. I didn't talk about it, but it did me too. Wake Up Dead Man is probably one of the best movies related to faith I've seen in years.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'll see it. It's on my list. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen One Battle After Another. Like I said, those are high on my list to see. I'm very excited to. I usually give myself until the Oscars to finalize my top 2026.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll be able to be watched soon.
Yeah, there's still time. There's still time for sure. Yeah, I mean, and I don't remember where Superman ended up in my full 25 list, but it's so good. It's definitely my top superhero movie of the year, my favorite comic book movie. I think it was maybe not an overall strong year for that in general, but Superman came out swinging. I
It
mean,
did.
it's the best movie that DC's put out since the Christopher Nolan days, I think.
Right.
Which is not saying much, but they've also put out a metric fuck ton of movies since then, and most of them aren't that good. So Superman came out and is easily top tier for DC.
And what I'm gonna say is the common theme for my 5, kind of minus Wake Up Dead Man, is the music of them all. Whether it's K-pop or Life of Chuck or Sinners or Superman, the music of these movies just did. I don't know. I felt something from them. They had me listening to Noah and the Whale for weeks on end.
Yeah, I still listen to that and Iggy Pop.
Nice. Yeah. Punk rocker. So.
I saw Life of Chuck, so I wanted to touch on that.
Oh yeah. What did you think of that?
Really enjoyed that movie. It made me feel good. I think I want to watch it again now that it's on streaming. I saw it when it came out in theaters over the summer. I think that actually may have been a mystery movie I saw. I don't remember if I saw it on purpose or if it was mystery. But man, it is Mike Flanagan and Stephen King. So it's a Stephen King short story, and I believe Mike Flanagan directed it. Both of these guys are horror masters. Horror. If you're good at horror, you know how to get into people's emotions, and they do that, but not in a horror way for this one. It's very heartfelt. It'll make you. It's another movie that'll make you want to, I think, be a better person at the end. So, Life of Chuck. It'll second that one.
It definitely has the ability to change a little bit. It includes a lot of poetry and philosophy and I don't know. We've talked a lot of we spent a lot of time this year, I think, talking about movies where there's a philosophy that really impacts the story. That was definitely one of them.
All right. Well, that's our top of the year. It looks like Wake Up Dead Man, One Battle After Another, and Sinners are going to be our big three crossovers of the three of us, with Sinners being the only one that appeared on every list.
It's true. Sinners is number 1. Wake Up Dead Man is the only one that appeared on 2, so I guess it's de facto 2 at this point.
Right.
And then that's it. So
we'll have to look at
Yeah.
the top 10 because I think,
crazy.
going down just to round it out. I don't know if you guys have your list pulled up.
Oh yeah.
6 through 10, I've got K-pop Demon Hunters at 6, Weapons at 7, F1 at 8, Roofman at 9, and then Superman at 10.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, my 6 through 10 here, just to move it, is I got Weapons at 6. I got 28 Years Later at 7. I really dug that. Then I got Frankenstein at 8. I got One Battle at 9, and then I got Zootopia 2 at 10. Nice.
Excellent. I stopped ranking at 5, so I don't have that.
Perfect.
I really didn't. I just was like, what's my top 5?
I just had my list pulled up on my phone.
Yeah, I normally do, but I don't today. All right. Well, let's talk about our So Many Sequels wrapped for the year. David, this is your project. What did you pull up for us?
Okay, give me 1 second here. I will tell you first off that it was a good year, I think. We had a lot of great movies that we talked about this year. We obviously had our various themes. This year we had Paddington Month. We had, when we did the Oscars, we talked about Goodfellas and Network and Babe. I think those were all nominated for Academy Awards. We had our book club month, which is where we did book adaptations. We did 3:10 to Yuma, The Black Phone, and Matilda. That was a good time. We had Disaster Month. Anybody remember that? Where I got roasted for my hate for Dante's Peak. And then we had The Day After Tomorrow, Armageddon, Mars Attacks. This was also, if I remember right, where I started getting on my Pierce Brosnan, not doing any other kind of accent train, and how that was not met with positive. Anyway, then we had our camp month, where we had Wet Hot American Summer, Heavyweights, and Friday the 13th. That was a fun time. Then we did our summer blockbuster season with Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, and Fantastic Four. We had Back to School. We had School of Rock, Breakfast Club, Legally Blonde, and The Dead Poet Society. So that was a great month. That was actually probably our most consistent month for movies that were good. Then we had female directors, Lost in Translation, Clueless, and Psycho. Friday the 13th month, where we just watched several Friday movies. Then we had, what was this? Family and Food, Uncle Buck, Homeward Bound, Willy Wonka, Planes and Trains, and then So Many Santas, where we rounded it out with The Jonas Brothers, Scrooged, I'll Be Home for Christmas, and Miracle on 34th Street. The highest rated movie we did this year was Goodfellas, which is a 4.5 on Letterboxd. One of the highest movies we've ever rated or we've ever reviewed for the show in terms of Letterboxd. Dead Poet Society was number 2 with 4.3, and then Network was number 3 with 4.3. Our worst reviewed movie that we did this year was Jason X, which is a 2.2 on Letterboxd. Followed closely by Friday the 13th, 2009, which is a 2.6. Neither of those, though, still good enough to best our worst reviewed movie we've ever done, which is Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Our top actor all time remains Frank Oz and John Ratzenberger, both of which have appeared in several Muppet and Pixar movies. So we're just kind of stuck with that until we see some more movies.
Listen.
Frank Oz was in all the Muppet movies we watched.
Yeah.
And he was in Werewolf in London, and he was in Knives Out. So we've done all those movies. And so Frank Oz has really boosted himself up there.
And this podcast started out as sequels, and John Ratzenberger's in every GD Pixar movie.
That's true. It's true. He's in 3 Toy Stories, and he's in 4 Toy Stories, and we did all of those.
Yeah.
So anyway, but our top actor. Let me see here. Our top actor for the actual movies we watched this year were, as you might expect, all from the Paddington films, because we did the full Paddington franchise. So we've got Ben Whishaw, Julie Walters,
Julie Walters was my most watched actor of the year because of Paddington and a Harry Potter movie, and I think one other movie.
That makes a ton of sense. So those are most watched actors for this specific season.
My most watched actor was Pierce Effin Brosnan.
Wow.
He was high on my list too, but he didn't beat out Jack Black, which means that Jack Black is both my most watched actor and my most listened to artist on Spotify.
I saw your thread post about that, and I think you do need to like really sit and ponder this for a while. What led you to this? That in 2025, your most watched actor and your most listened to artist is Jack Black.
It makes me, I don't know how to feel about it. Obviously, Jack
I'm not
Black's
saying
great.
good or bad. I just think you need to think about it.
It means
I just need to figure out who I am.
It means Jack Black is relevant and timeless.
He is. He is the star of Gen Alpha. That's for sure. Looking at, so our most watched actors all time are Chris Pratt, Keanu Reeves, and now Bradley Cooper.
We gotta do something about that.
Yeah.
Well, again, Avengers movies. We did all of the. We did all the Avengers. We did all the Guardians, and we did that. We did the Jurassic World movies. So
still a mistake.
He's got a big leg up. Keanu Reeves is number 2. He's tied with Chris, and now tied with Chris is Bradley Cooper, Superman, and his little cameo there bunched him up into the list. But Scarlett Johansson jumped up to join Jamie Lee Curtis as our most watched actresses. So that's fun. Our most watched directors got a new list. The 5 Timers Club now includes James Gunn, who after watching after Superman, we did Suicide Squad back in 2021, and we've done all 3 Guardians movies. That helps him join the list. He joined Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, and Sean Levy as our most watched directors.
God, which one of these is not like the other?
Garrett, I feel like every year we regret letting him do this because then we feel bad about what we've watched.
It has never once made me go, oh yeah, good job, guys. No, it's like, listen, let me defend the statistics here. You've got to understand.
You do have to understand.
Time. We've evolved over time.
The reason Sean Levy is on our list of most watched directors is 1.
I don't think it's going to matter to anybody.
He's working. He's working. This man's making movies. We can't pretend we don't want to see that Rogue Squadron film. He made all 3 Night of the Museums, and we did Night of the Museums. That jumped him up really high just to start with. Then he did Deadpool, and for some reason, we also reviewed Free Guy, and I can't ignore that.
It was the pandemic.
It was the pandemic. We were struggling. However, to make you guys feel better, leaping up the list this year was John Hughes, our most watched director of 2025. We did 3 John Hughes movies without trying this year because we did Breakfast Club, Planes, Trains, and Uncle Buck. So he's our top director of this particular year. I don't have too many more of these to do because I don't want to drag things out too much. But our most watched year this year, we did 3 films from 1995, 3 films from 2001, and then of course we did 4 films from 2025. So we were in the 90s and the 2000s a lot this year. However, we watched 38 movies, and our oldest movie was 1947's Miracle on 34th Street. We did a movie we did 2 movies from the 70s. We did some movies from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and 2020s. So I mean, we got a wide range from 47 to 25. That ain't bad.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're figuring things out.
And then a quick look here, if I can pull it up quickly, just to, and I'll spend very little time on this, but I just want to talk about the top 10 movies at the box office this year. Number 10, How to Train Your Dragon. Number 9, Fantastic Four. Number 8, Sinners. Number 7, these are domestic numbers. Number 7, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Jurassic World Rebirth. Wicked for Good at number 5. Superman at number 4. Zootopia 2 at number 3. Lilo and Stitch and the Minecraft movie at 2 and 1. So there's your top movies.
Well, Minecraft never got unseated. How about that?
Wow.
Minecraft movie, grab that spot.
Again, go through the top 5 real quick again.
Okay. The top 5 are Wicked for Good, Superman, Zootopia 2, Lilo and Stitch, and then a Minecraft movie.
Only one superhero movie.
Only one superhero movie.
As we talked about, it was a bad year other than Superman.
And when you go to the worldwide numbers, Superman is number 10, meaning that...
Yeah, because we also remembered that everyone hates Americans.
Yes, and well, China is not taking as many... China took, I think, 1 movie this year, and it was Zootopia 2. They might be taking Avatar as well. But, China's out on U.S. movies right now, so that's a hard... when you don't get that, then it cuts a lot of your stuff in half. But with Superman only just barely scraping into the top 10, it's one of the first years since 2000 something. I'd have to look up the stats with no superhero movies in the towards the top of the list. But
Good.
anyway, I'll wrap it up there. I won't go on and on and on.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for our season. We're gonna end. I'm gonna end by asking us all to give one resolution and one prediction for 2026.
Mhm.
Anybody have one at the ready? Anyone got one related to movies?
Yes. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
probably
David,
everybody.
you
I
go
mean, it is
first.
a movie podcast.
My goal is I mentioned it a little earlier, but I want to watch 50 new movies in 2026.
Excellent.
I've had a pretty good run of doing like between 40 and 45, so I want to see if I can hit 50.
Yeah.
And then my overall goal for the year, because I've had a few years now of doing this, I track on Letterboxd pretty regularly, and I usually get between like 100 and 110 or 112. I want to try to watch 150 movies, like new movies to me, not just 2025 movies, but new to me movies. This podcast
That's a
always
good
helps a
goal.
lot with that, but I'm going to try to do even better this year. So that's my
Heck yeah.
resolution.
Expand those horizons.
Nice.
What was yours,
I
Garrett?
resolved to use my Letterboxd better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I usually, I've gotten a little better over time where I used to just do the movies that we were doing for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, okay, well, I'll do all the new movies. And then I was like, well, all right, I'll start at least ranking them. So this year I really want to start, using it to just find a fun way to relate it to the show in some way, shape, or form. So finding a little voice on there, taking some inspiration from Andrew. He always writes such good Letterboxd reviews, and kind of finding something in between that. I am not his level critique writer. No.
Yeah.
So something a little better, and then just kind of finding ways to recommend. I think you might like it if I think is what I want to use it for. So that's what I want to
Yeah,
use.
for sure. I try to. Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Excellent.
Sometimes
I like
I'll
that.
write or something really thoughtful if it hits me, and then sometimes I just try to mention like one sentence of like one little joke if I can think of one.
Yeah.
My movie themed resolution is I want to not exactly go to the movie theater more often, but to go to more movie theaters, if that makes sense. I've talked about it on here. I'm an A-list member of AMC, so that is my go-to. Um, it's great because it helps save money. So I wouldn't want to do it too much, but I'd also like to go out to some of the other theaters. Over the holiday break, I went to the Tulsa Cinemark here in town. I hadn't been in months, only to discover that they had completely replaced all the seats. They have their own little tray tables now. Each seat does. They have fantastic seat warmers. They're extremely comfortable. They're the best seats I've sat in in a movie theater in this town. I didn't even know they had it because I hadn't been there in forever.
When you went in, did they have the tray table up and the seat back in the full upright position?
Some.
Just one.
Some. But it was kind of nice. It would swing out and swing back in, so I could put my cup there, put my popcorn there, and it was fantastic. I also want to continue to patronage our own Circle Cinema more often. That's Tulsa's local indie theater. If you have an indie theater in your town, you should absolutely support them. And I just want to spread it around more. See more of the theaters in town.
Yeah.
No,
Predictions?
I think it's great. Predictions.
I predict that I will be talking about more books on this show, boys. Because listen, A, people aren't reading. B, specifically, men aren't reading. And C, people are making it more and more difficult to just have movies and TVs and readies at hand. And I think that it's important to bring more books into what we talk about, especially in our updates show when we talk about what we've been doing, what we've been watching, what we've been reading. So I invite you guys to also recommend some books out there. And if it helps, I'll try to find ways to equate it to some movies if you need. So, I think that might be a good way to get people out there and myself just reading more. I know that I'm going to watch a ton of movies, but I would like to expand some other stuff too.
That sounds good.
That's like a prediction and a resolution all in one. Garrett's Book Corner is coming soon to So Many Sequels Season 9. Stay tuned.
I predict. I know you said one prediction. I have kind of like one, and then I have something that sort of bounds off of that. I think that the movie theater box office, which despite some who, despite some early belly aching early in the year, did just beat out 2024. This last year, the box office was a little bit better, not tremendously, only like maybe like, less than a full percent, but it was better. It was a little bit better. And I think that next year we will see a lot of big movies and a lot of big heavy hitters. It's going to be a lot of sequels. There are going to be so many sequels that we may have to talk about some of them. But I think we'll see a $9 billion year. We haven't had that since before the pandemic. 2022, we had 7.5. 2023 was 8.8, 8.6, 8.3 this year, and this year is going to be a little bit better than last year. I think we're going to do it. We're going to hit 9 billion. In addition to that, I predict this is going to be, in addition to many other things around the world, this is going to be one of the most chaotic years for the box office we've ever seen for movies, with this whole Netflix deal, the Paramount deal, all that stuff. Things are going to get a little crazy, and weirdly enough, the theater industry is going to do great, but everybody's going to be panicking because Netflix is going to threaten to pull all the movies out of the theaters or something. You know what I mean? Like, I predict chaos, but also success.
Yeah.
I predict that all three of us will enjoy and agree that it was a necessary message about Toy Story 5.
An interesting prediction.
I think that Toy Story 5
it's gonna hit, man.
Will hit in a way that will undo Toy Story 4 and make most people go, this was good though.
Yeah. Or maybe appreciation for Toy Story 4.
And don't ask me why. That's the prediction that is coming from deep inside. I just feel that we will all three be like, yes, that was great.
Yeah. He didn't necessarily say it was going to make us like Toy Story 4.
Maybe no. For some, it may increase their appreciation. Like, they should have called it the Bonnie trilogy or something from the beginning.
As someone who defended 4 when it came out, I still don't want them to keep making them. I still want them to keep making them. I hope that they are. Toy Story 4 was like, hey, I didn't want it, but a good thing I liked it. And that's how I feel about this one. Yeah. But my prediction is that we will all three really enjoy it. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us on the show this episode and this year. It's still January, but for 2025.
Whatever.
The 2025 season has come to an end.
And nobody's going to look at the metadata when this was released.
So go check us out online, SoManySequels.com. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. And come back in February if you're watching in real time. We'll be doing Rob Reiner month here on the show. Looking forward to it. Oscars are coming up in March. Lots of stuff to look forward to. So, SoManySequels.com. We'll see you.